In this stanza, the poet's anger melts down. His tone is different. He becomes hopeful and optimistic. He pins all his hope on few responsible citizens from different areas to bring about a positive change in the lives of the slum children. Here, the poet is appealing people from all spheres of life, like the governor, inspector, visitors, and those who are in authority, to realize their moral responsibilities and to make a joint effort in order to provide the slum children a quality life and quality education so that they can enlighten their lives. They are the only people who can break the chains of inequality and disparity and do something for the upliftment of the children. These are the people who can make the children come out into the open world of progress and prosperity. The meaningful education can only transform and power these unfortunate children. To break the grim means gloomy and dark, walls of their miserable condition and social injustice. So instead of giving donation like the map, these people should give the donation of books so that the children can read the books and gain first-hand knowledge and enhance their power of speech and opinion. People who have the power of speech and knowledge, they are the people who can make a name for themselves in history. Now, before moving on to the explanation, I would like to read out the stanza. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs, break open till they break the town, and show the children green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books. The white and green leaves open. History is theirs, whose language is the sun. Very powerful and optimistic line, which he had ended his stanza with a very powerful line, that history is theirs, whose language is the sun. Now, moving forward with the line by line explanation. Now, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Here the poet says, unless the bureaucrats, which is an official in a government department, authorities like the governor, the inspector, and the visitors, and the so-called powerful people, come forward to rescue these children and to help them out and to change system or reach out to them, nothing will be possible. So, the poet makes an appeal to the government and the concerned authorities, that is the governor representing the arena of politics, inspector a representative from the field of education, the visitor perhaps an influential social worker, to become aware and sensitive towards the slum dwellers and do something constructive to improve the condition of these deprived children and change this grim picture and change their lives. They should shoulder the important task of freeing and liberating the children from the shackles of poverty, means from the chains of poverty. The meaning of shackles is chain. The poet wants these concerned authorities to bring the lives of the children, to change the life of the children by guiding them, and if there is a will, the map showing the beautiful world outside can become their reality too. This line, the map become their window, illustrates the poet's wish. He wishes that the map on the classroom wall become their vision and give them opportunities to develop. Only the joint effort of the man in power can make this map the window to cleaner and greener world for these unfortunate children. The poet wants the civilized world to bridge the gap between them and the world of the children. In the first line, the governor, inspector, visitor has been used as a symbol to indicate hope. Hope for him also, hope for the slum children also. He urges them to make the map, which he refers as this map, a window for the children. That is, he wants the world beyond the slum to become accessible to the slum children and offer the children a glimpse a glimpse of a better world. Accessible means become available. These concerned authorities and the bureaucrats of the society are expected to perform an important role in removing social injustice and class inequality. Then perhaps the map on the classroom's wall would become meaningful to them and liberate the slum children from the shackles of poverty and deprivation. Otherwise, this map would continue to be beyond the reach of the children, totally and absolutely inaccessible. They will not be able to enjoy the wonderful world outside their slum. These windows, the expression here refers to the windows of the classroom that look onto the slum. Windows metaphorically stands for opportunities, fresh openings, but the windows of the classroom that open up into the slum actually do the opposite. They shut out all hopes. They shut out means they close all hopes or prospects of growth from these children's lives. The lines, this window that shut upon their life like catacombs. Spender has used a beautiful simile over here. The comparison. Now, what is a catacomb? Catacombs have been referred. Now, here, catacombs. Now, what is a catacomb? A catacomb is a series of underground tunnels used for buried dead bodies. It is basically underground mass grave where many people are buried together in a congested manner. As you can see it in the picture, the holes. This is where the people are buried in their coffins very close to each other. This catacombs has been referred to the slum, which shuts upon the lives of the children as they do not progress and from which they cannot escape, just like dead bodies are closed or shut inside these catacombs, these mass graves. The children live their life in the confined space of these slums that are symbolic of miserable lives, equivalent to life in a grave with no hope. The life in a slum has been compared to a rotting body inside a catacomb, means a grave. Just like a body rots inside a catacomb, inside the graves, the lives of the children also crumble inside these slums without any promise of growth or hope for future life. Here, the windows of the classroom that look onto the slum are compared to the lids of a catacomb, which are shut or sealed tightly, confining them to live in slums without any hope for better future. According to the poet, the young children are trapped in their slums as dead people are in their cemetery or graves. And the condition of the slum children is no different than that of a dead. They have a death-like existence in the slum as they live like they are being shut into catacombs, as they are being shut into the slums. The poet hopes that the authorities and the bureaucrats would understand their moral responsibilities and free the children from their graves and entrapments, and make the children realize what is outside this world. Their environment will become like graves forever if these rich people do not do anything for these slum children. They can liberate these young slum children if they provide them conducive environment and atmosphere, not like grave-like atmosphere. Their lives, as well as their aims, all are in dark. The children are denied the bounties referring to the basic amenities of the world beyond their slum, which we are gifted with. So the poet wants all the barriers and filthy surroundings that have blocked their progress and growth to be pulled down. He wants the windows of the classroom which show them the slum should be broken as they have restricted the opportunities for the children, so that the children could come out from their narrow world that is slum and explore the world beyond the slum. He says, break, oh break open till they break the town, and show the children green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. These are the things that portray a world without boundaries, in contrast to their gloomy, sad, confined world in slums. The poet describes an ideal world the children should inhabit and experience. Now notice the burst of colors after an entire poem about dark and dull slum ambience, slum atmosphere, environment. Here comes the rush of vibrant colors. The image of green fields run azure on the gold sands. Azure is the bright blue color and makes up a healthy life with an extremely promising future. The poet cries out, break, oh break open. The poet repeats the word break and uses the alliteration with the alphabet O to emphasize that it is urgently required to give the slum inhabitants means and opportunities to lead a dignified and civilized life by breaking the barriers of social injustice and class inequality, and help them to escape out of their confines of the slum and achieve their dreams. He appeals to those in power, the concerned authorities, that is the governor, inspector, the visitor, to liberate, means to free these children from the miserable slums and enable them to breathe in the fresh, beautiful and healthy environment away from the foggy slums. He wants the authorities and the bureaucrats should remove the limitation or barriers that prevent the slum children from leading a dignified life and do something for the children till they break the town. By this, the poet appeals these people who are in power to provide or open up opportunities for these underprivileged children till the slum children, referring by as they, break the barriers and come out of their dirty surroundings and slums and breathe in the open air and explore the green fields and the world outside the dirty, dingy slums. They should help the slum children to break out of catacombs, means the slums that have crippled their minds and bodies and spirits, and because of which they could only think of a bleak future, uncertain and dark. Now, while making an appeal to the bureaucrats and concerned authorities, the poet at the same time, by repeating the word break, he also calls out to the slum children to come forward and break free from the shackles, means from the chains of social and economic injustice, and rise above all the atrocities. Atrocities means cruel act of injustice that they were victims of. He wants them to get rid of their dismal lives. The call for change their own lives should come from within, so that they can make efforts to come out of their death-like existence and create a beautiful world for themselves, and show the children green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. He wants all the barriers that confine the children should be broken down, so that the children can be brought out from their filthy surroundings and expose them to the wonderful aspects of nature. The poet visualized freedom for the children. They should be taken to the open green fields and give them opportunity to learn and live freely without any restrictions. Green fields here symbolizes nature and prosperity. The children must have an access to an open area, open sky, and all wonders of nature, where they could experience fun and frolic. Of nature means full of life. They will be full of life. In the lap of nature, in the wide open world, they would find freedom and rare possibilities of learning would, that would be spread out to them and make their world run azure on goal sense. The poet describes that the children should be allowed to run freely on goal sense under the clear blue sky. The word azure means bright blue color. Here in the poem, it indicates blue sky. Azure used as antithesis, the exact opposite to the lead sky that has been mentioned in the second stanza. In the second stanza, the sky is said to have a lead color, which is black. By the time we reach the final stanza, the sky is described as azure, as opposed to the lead sky, which suggests hope, a better and brighter future. The children running is an image of freedom from the shackles of poverty towards a golden future. Green fields, goal sense, used as a symbol to indicate happiness, nature and golden opportunities. So out in the open, in the conducive means in the favorable environment, in the healthy environment, they will be able to experience things which instill in them a desire to get more knowledge, a desire to brighten their own lives. And when they want the knowledge, then only they can achieve their dreams, because they would explore the world outside their slum, which is not confined with the narrow lanes or dirty streets. So, it is necessary to bring them out of the dark surroundings of their slum and must be given the freedom to experience the world outside the slum, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. The use of the word naked here means no restraints or restriction. The concerned authorities should provide them the opportunity to be educated, and the poet prays for their upliftment, as the quality education is the only means for their upliftment. So let their run naked, let their tongue run naked into books. Their tongues running naked into books is an image of children exploring knowledge freely and uninhibited, which will empower them in the true sense. Let the pages of books be open for them, and then they can learn. Means let the books available to them, and they can learn as much as they can and receive quality education from books as well as from nature, which is also open outside the slum. They will gain the ease and facility to learn, to read and get educated in true sense. The white leaves here refer to the textbooks, which will give them knowledge and enrich them, and green leaves refer to the knowledge which they will get from natural environment when they will explore it freely without any bindings, and it will bring change in their lives. By using white and green leaves, the poet talks about knowledge that empowers and enriches them, as opposed to the ineffectual education, means non-productive education, that they receive in the slum classroom, making them all more miserable. The true knowledge which they will gain from book and natural environment will help them in their progress and growth. Education is the only key to help these slum children to break free from the dark confines of the slum dwellings and liberate or free themselves. The poet strongly believes if they are given proper education, it will enable them to break the chains of poverty, social injustice, and inequality. The poet sees hope for these children only through education. They should get freedom to train their minds to think and form their own opinion. The children should be able to enjoy the fundamental rights of education. Otherwise, their lives will remain miserable forever. History dares, whose language is the sun. The concluding line of this profound poem means very deep and serious poem reveals that if children in slum are given quality education means meaningful education, then this access to education will broaden their outlook, liberate the children truly from the boundaries imposed by the rich and powerful people, and this will empower them to create their own history and thus lead better lives. They will acquire freedom of expression, means they will be able to think and form their own opinion. The sun is the symbolic of power, energy, and enlightenment, which will come through education. The power of knowledge or education has been compared to the power of sun. As the sun gives warmth and empowers the earth with its brightness, the children can change their destiny and create history if they receive true education that will empower their lives. If they are well educated, then they would be able to raise the standard of their lives like other children who belongs from the privileged section. Education is the only means by which the slum children can ensure themselves of a better future. He wants them to have access to the better books because if they are given a better education, then they will also have the opportunity to empower themselves with good speech. They will be able to speak properly. They will be able to speak confidently and powerfully and move towards a better and bright future. Education will enable them to write their own history, means they will be able to change their lives and create their own world. These children are mostly victims of their circumstances because they are crippled, unable to move by their poverty and the shackles, chains of the slum. But when truly empowered by the right kind of education, the children do gain the power to rise above and will make a new beginning for themselves and create history for themselves, and not just merely be a victim of their birth, their surroundings, and their circumstance. The slum children will be enlightened if they are given education, freedom, and equal opportunities. The poet wants the opportunities should be available to the children so that no children get lost in a gloomy darkness of ignorance in slums. The poet ends with a positive note that one day he hopes that the lives of the children also would be changed and they would be able to enjoy lives. If they are freed from their present circumstance and given a valuable education, then with some encouragement, the children too will be able to mold a more successful life for themselves like other children.